like that, and he goes, no, hold it. I have nightmares of that night. In my mind, reruns it like a movie. I see every detail of that day. It was just like my whole life was gone. There was no hope, no nothing. But through all that darkness, in some ways, it's actually saved me.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Story Trek story. This story, kind of dark. Imagine our surprise when we stumble upon a man who tells us he shot and killed somebody.
Hi there.
Hello.
You ready to be on TV?
Yeah.
You're gonna help us?
Yeah.
Cool. I need you to spin. Okay, we're going that way. Are we gonna find any houses that way?
Probably. Well, you might.
Well, it depends on how far we go, and to determine how far we go, we have you roll that. 1 block. How's it going?
We normally knock on a door, but he came over wondering why cameras were in the neighborhood.
This probably doesn't happen every day down here. The TV crew comes down.
That TV crews come down, but not to interview people, actually.
Yeah.
He says cameras in the neighborhood usually mean bad news.
What's your name?
Derry Duran.
Derry. I'm Todd. Nice to meet you, Derry.
Derry says his story is simple, making it in a tough neighborhood.
They're not really much into it, just surviving, living here in the West Side.
Just surviving, huh?
That's about it.
Life on the West Side, huh?
Grew up here all my life.
Derry's story of survival may shock you.
Back then, I was involved in a lot of gang activity back then.
It was the 70s. Gangs were just coming on the scene in Utah. Derry was just a teenager.
Yeah, because we had control of the West Side at the time.
Derry got into an argument with a rival gang member who he says set up a drug house just 2 miles away.
We decided to scare him, 3 of us, right there.
Derry showed me the neighborhood where the plan to scare the rival gang member went horribly wrong.
So this is what's in your nightmares.
Yep. Is that right there, that windowsills? Because I told my partner to make sure he hit brick.
So your friends shot
The first shot.
at him to scare him.
Yeah.
But the .22 rifle jammed. Derry was the only one who knew how to clear the jam.
I went down, I jammed it, I went like that, and he goes, no, hold it. They could outrun him. They were gone. And I just stood there and watched. He turned around, went up the stairs, holding his stomach, saying, I'm shot.
When that gun went off, you say it was an accident?
It was an accident. Like I said, the intention was to scare him. My partner thought I was going to shoot him. He grabbed the gun, pulled it downwards, and instead of missing, I shot him in the heart. He died. And I didn't only mess up my life, but I messed up my best friend's life too.
They were on the run, but police caught up with them 4 days later. At 17, Derry was charged as an adult.
They're talking about the death penalty. And to realize, to look at actually that they could actually put me to death, it just like my whole life was gone. There was no hope, no nothing. But through all that darkness, in some ways, it's actually saved me. It made me stop and look at what I was doing with my life. How messed up I made my life.
Instead of murder, the charge became manslaughter.
I've been out 18 years now, longer than I've been locked up. And it's been a struggle. It's not been easy.
But he says nothing compares to life in prison.
That's a whole different world. It's a whole crazy world in there. And you have to be, you sometimes have to become a monster in there sometimes.
It was one terrible decision 37 years ago that changed 3 lives forever.
A lot of people make a big deal about killing people like it's really something. It's the most worst thing you could ever do in your life. It destroyed my life. Just killing that dude alone, my own mind, my own conscience, is always destroying me.
Do you think back on that night a lot?
I have nightmares of that night. In my mind, reruns it like a movie. I see every detail of that day, every day of my life. It still runs in my mind. It still haunts me forever.
He wishes just one tiny part of that night would have changed
to lead to a different outcome.
That was my mistake. I left and I came back. I should have just kept on walking. I probably would have never seen that guy again.
He understands now what he calls true strength.
It's a lot harder to stop yourself from doing something than it is doing something. And then when people start realizing that, that's what a man really is. Someone who can really control himself.
Although he did go back to prison once for robbery, and he's been in jail numerous times, Derry says it's all humbled him.
Why would you tell me all this?
I'm not proud of what I did, but I would like other people to look at what I did and see what it's put me through. Maybe I hope it'll change them a little bit, just hearing what I'm saying right now. Because I'm not saying this with pride, I'm saying this with hurt. Because it's hard to talk about this at times.
Are you worried that people judge you?
Nah, I judge myself.
He says it's a constant battle with his own conscience.
You just have to pray to the Lord that he needs an understanding God, and he'll fix it when the day comes. But until then, out here on this earth, there's some things that, like I said, that's why I have nightmares. That's why, things still bother me, because I can't undo what I've done.
Have you asked for forgiveness? Prayed for forgiveness?
Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve it sometimes. Is that I've been raised a Catholic, and murder is one of the worst sins you can do. Some believe that it's an unforgivable sin. But I don't believe there is no unforgivable sin. But I believe that God, sees what's in your heart, and he knows what you put yourself through, and he knows what I'm putting myself through.
It's Derry's story of growing up, almost losing it all, and surviving in a tough neighborhood.
I gotta survive. Whatever it takes, whatever I gotta do, that's what I gotta do.
Survive on the West Side.
Yeah, always survive on the West Side.
Such a tragic and emotional story, but an incredible story about the hope that Derry has for the future, and an interesting backstory to this. When we were going to get that story after we saw where the dot hit, we drove up. We were in a couple of separate vehicles, and we had walkie-talkies to communicate with each other. My producer, she's like, there's no way. I am not getting out here. It's too dangerous. And I'm like, I think it'll be okay. Pretty naive and trusting, right? So we get out and walk up to Derry, and you saw the story that we got. An amazing, incredible story. Please like and subscribe to this channel. You can hit that little bell thingy, and it will notify you of the next story that pops up, because we got a lot of stories popping up, and we think they're pretty amazing when you walk up to a so-called ordinary person and you find something incredible like this.